Yes, I know the narrative is going to be that Arsenal went into the game a bit too negative, but I'm not going to lie, Gunners. I think on the basis of how we reacted after halftime, how we adapted towards what was thrown at us by Manchester City, I think that game actually shows we're more title favourites than we aren't, because we were able to come from a point of adversity where the whole crowd, you could feel it at the start. They felt we were a bit too negative. They could, you could see the players were sort of affected as well. They thought they were playing well. The crowd weren't responding to the performance the players were putting in. But second half, I like that from Arteta. Adaptability, accountability for the performance of the guys in the first half. I feel as though he knew it. He knew this lineup was one which prioritized out of possession stuff. And in the second half, he thought to himself, we need to go for it. We need to get players who are better on the ball, good in those forward areas. Eze on for Marino was a really good change. Bringing on Saka for Madueke was also a very, very positive change. So I get it. It's not 3 points. We wanted to win this game. We needed to win this game with how Liverpool are just chugging away. But we've got to take in the context. That was the lowest possession that a Pep Guardiola side has ever had in the Premier League. I don't think you guys are taking that in. That way of playing for Manchester City was the first time we've seen that in the Premier League era since Guardiola has been in charge. They did something that nobody expected. Nobody expected City to be lumping it long. Nobody expected City to be playing on the counter-attack through Doku and Haaland. No one expected it, but they did it. So it's going to be difficult. Arteta himself probably didn't expect Manchester City to come with that mentality to pass it around, do the defensive side of the game, get the fundamentals defensively right. But, like I said, I know the first half wasn't good enough, but the second half, the way we adapted to what was thrown at us by Manchester City was really impressive. And sometimes, we look at the transfer window, the transfer market, we look at the signings we've got in. That's the whole point of them. When you're going into a game like that, last season, we wouldn't have been able to bring in someone like Eze for Marino. We wouldn't have even had Madueke to start this game. It would have been Saka. And if Saka wasn't finding solutions early in the game, then we would have been screwed. So already we're seeing a new Arsenal, a better Arsenal, an Arsenal able to adapt, to use options. And I think we all saw today that Eze in the number 10 role is dangerous. We all love Martin Odegaard for his out of possession stuff, and he's so good at finding those pockets of space. But that assist from Eze was wonderful. The way he picked up the ball in the middle of the park, played it over the top, really, really impressive. And that's what you want to be seeing from your creative midfielders, dropping into those middle spaces and playing those balls over the top. And it was, of course, a phenomenal finish from Martinelli, who's been really coming up trumps for us. He's really performing. He's really showing his attacking capabilities, because there's a lot of criticism towards Martinelli. We've got to be really honest. Everybody is on him. Everyone's saying, you know what, Martinelli, this is your season. You need to step up. And he probably would have felt a bit disappointed not to be starting the game, because he had a really, really good impact off the bench against Atletico Bilbao. But such is the competition, such is the way Mikel Arteta saw this game in terms of a way we should have gone for it with the Marino, with the Trossard. He's on the bench, and it's all about his mentality coming off the bench and being somebody who's able to adapt to being on the bench and still impacting. Because at the end of the day, there's no such thing as bench players. It's finishers, guys that are coming onto the pitch and finish the game and make it turn into your favour. Today it was Saka, Eze and Martinelli all became finishers, and really, really impactful finishers as well. Because when I saw Eze coming in, I really loved what I saw in terms of the positions he was picking up, the way he was turning on the ball as well. Everything was positive. Yes, he gave the ball away a couple of times, but that's absolutely fine, guys. I'm happy with that. I'm so happy with Eze at least trying to turn in the first place. That's a massive positive. That's something we haven't seen in that right-hand side sort of space unless Waneri is playing. And of course, Waneri is a bit more immature in terms of his decision-making compared to Eze. But every time Eze received it, he was thinking positive. He wanted to move. He moved across the pitch really nice. I think that was an exhibition in how to play this new role of number 10. Eze did it to a T. He genuinely did it to a T. I was so impressed. And I think this just means more positivity going forward. Next week, we've got a team that likes to defend in Newcastle. We can go there. I think they'll go with a back five Newcastle. We know how they like to do against us. You can go with Eze. You can go with on the right, Saka, Martinelli on the left. Through the centre, you can go Trossard, Gyökeres or Marino. We've got 3 options in there. It could be Martinelli centre forward as well. Look, Martinelli's goal was from the centre forward area. The run was really, really good. We know how physical he can be. Mikel Arteta needs to be trying Martinelli at centre forward more often. In fact, we've got a game against Port Vale. I want to see Martinelli play centre forward. Put your Trossard on the left, put your EZE on the left, put whoever you want to put on the left there. Madueke on the left and then Dalman off the right. I'm not really too bothered. I think Martinelli centre forward can be really impactful for us. That run, the finish, quality. The finish was so good. Genuinely very, very good. Like a world-class centre forward up against that big frame of Donnarumma to loop it. The accuracy, really good. I love that from us. And to be honest, when I'm talking about the way we adapt, I think defensively we look really vulnerable for some reason in those first 25 minutes. And you think with Marino in there, you'd think with the lineup Arteta went with, that we'd be a lot more stronger. But again, look, we lifted ourselves off. We started to cover the right spaces. Rice sort of grew into the game. Zubimendi as well started to grow into the game. I think they had a really difficult first half. I think the whole team did. But you can see, you know, and I'll keep on talking about the changes. Saka, EZE, when they were all in, you could feel the rest of the lads were getting lifted. And that's so important. If you have players able to come off the bench, Mavericks like them, able to lift everybody else, it's invaluable. It genuinely is invaluable. You could see everyone, the crowd, the players, they felt lifted by those changes. And I've said this before. I know we didn't win, but having those options available last season, if the game went like that, who would Arsenal bring in? Raheem Sterling, Nathan Butler, or Deji? This is no disrespect to those players, but now we have a squad able to adapt. And look, we've got to look at the context of the game, the way City played for the first time in the Premier League era. They played like that under Guardiola. We've got to take into account the fact that Saka was coming off the bench as he's not quite properly bedded in yet. When we're looking at the context of things, it's going to be a good point come the end of the season. And I know we shouldn't be thinking about what Liverpool are going to do, but Liverpool haven't played any of our corresponding fixtures. So we've got to genuinely think about it. If you had asked me, we're going into this Premier League season, we'll get 3 points first game of the season against United. I genuinely thought that would be a point. I genuinely did. So for me, I know you guys are probably going to say you're too positive and all of this. The United game trades out the City game. For me, that United game, if we're being really honest with ourselves, we're lucky to have got away with a victory. So for me, the victory is against Manchester City and the draw is against Manchester United. And look, you start feeling a lot more better for it. Liverpool, if they keep on winning, fair enough. If they win every game, what can we do? What can we do? Can we control what we can control? Can we adjust to the context of the games that we're in? That's the big question. But today I saw mentality monsters from the lads. Guys that are able to come on off the bench, put in a performance. Guys that never give up, kept going, kept circulating the ball, kept, building up the pressure. Back 5, 4 in midfield, and not even a centre forward there for City towards the end. It was difficult. But anyway, guys, let me know your thoughts on the game. I thought it was not too bad from the lads. But until next time, peace. Massive shout out once again quickly to the guys at Dragon Jersey. If you want to get yourself a football kit, an Arsenal kit, past or present, they are the guys for you. You can use code FANATICS for 10% off.